All right, welcome. I want you to think of your business like a high-performance vehicle. Now, to get that vehicle moving, you need power, right? Well, today, we're going to look at the two engines that provide that power, sales and marketing. Now, they're not the same thing, not at all. But when they work together, they create this absolutely unstoppable momentum for growth. Okay, so let's dive right into this. At first glance, you might think sales and marketing are basically interchangeable, but their jobs are actually pretty distinct. You see, marketing's whole purpose is to build broad demand. It's like casting a wide but very intelligent net. It focuses on the many. Sales, on the other hand, its job is to take all that interest marketing stirred up and actually convert it. It's all about zeroing in on the one, that single prospect, that one-on-one conversation to turn that interest into real revenue.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll break down the two engines and their shared goal. Then we'll look at the marketing engine, followed by the sales engine. After that, and this is key, we'll connect them with the customer journey funnel. Then we'll check out the dashboard you need to steer this thing. And finally, we'll take a look at what the future holds.
All right, let's pop the hood on that first engine. The marketing attraction engine is all about intelligence. Its number one job is to survey the entire landscape, really understand the terrain, and then send out this powerful signal that attracts exactly the right audience to your business.
You know, marketing doesn't just start by shouting into the void. No, it starts with a really smart strategic first step called segmentation. It's the art of looking at this huge, kind of messy market and dividing it into smaller, neater groups of people who all share similar needs. This is the absolute foundation, making sure you don't waste time and money talking to people who were never going to be interested in the first place.
So, you've created these neat little groups. Now what? Well, you probably can't go after all of them. Targeting is that crucial next step where you analyze those segments and choose the one or two that represent the biggest opportunity for you. It's all about aiming before you fire.
And once you know exactly who you're talking to, positioning is all about figuring out what you're going to say. It's about crafting that one clear, unique message that makes your brand occupy a special piece of real estate in your target audience's mind. So when they think about solving their problem, you want them to think of you first. And that, right there, is the magic of good positioning.
So how do marketers actually bring all this strategy to life? Well, they use a classic toolkit known as the 4Ps. They fine-tune the product itself, they set the right price, they choose the perfect place to make it available, and then they use promotion to communicate its value. Think of these as the four main levers they pull to turn a great strategy into a real-world success.
Okay, so the marketing engine is humming along, attracting all these potential customers. Now it's time to fire up our second engine, sales. The sales conversion engine is all about taking that potential energy, all that interest, and transforming it into kinetic energy, or as we like to call it, actual revenue. You see, great selling doesn't just happen. It's a process. It kicks off with prospecting, just finding those potential customers. Then you've got to qualify them to make sure they're a good fit. After that, it's about presenting your solution, skillfully handling any concerns they have, and finally, closing the deal. This structured approach is really what separates the pros from the amateurs.
Okay, so we've got these two powerful engines. Awesome. But engines are pretty useless without a transmission system to connect them to the wheels, right? Well, that's exactly where the customer journey funnel comes in. This is the critical piece that connects marketing and sales into one smooth, efficient system.
And this really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you take two different functions with totally different focuses and processes and get them to work in perfect harmony? Well, the answer is all about looking at it from the customer's point of view.
This journey is often pictured as a funnel. Way up at the top, marketing is in the driver's seat, creating awareness and then building interest. As someone moves down into the consideration stage, it becomes more of a team effort. And then, once a prospect shows clear intent, that's the crucial handoff. The sales team takes the lead to guide them through to the purchase and, hopefully, build long-term loyalty.
I mean, this quote really nails it. When that handoff from marketing to sales is clumsy, or if communication is broken, potential customers just fall right out of the funnel. But when they're perfectly aligned at every single stage, the whole system becomes incredibly efficient. You end up converting way more of that hard-won interest into actual business. So, if you're going to run this powerful two-engine machine, you can't just fly blind. You absolutely need a dashboard. You need the right gauges and instruments to tell you how each engine is performing and how the whole system is working together to drive you forward.
And probably the single most important part of that dashboard is the CRM.
the customer relationship management system. Think of it as the central computer, the brain of your growth machine. It's the one place where all customer data lives, making sure both marketing and sales are looking at the exact same information so they can work together without missing a beat.
Now, for the marketing engine, part of its dashboard shows which fuel sources are working best. Digital marketing is this whole mix of channels, like SEO, which helps you get found on Google, or PPC, which is paid advertising. Tracking performance here is crucial because it helps you invest more in what's actually bringing in the best prospects.
And this is where it all comes together on that shared dashboard. You can see that even though the teams might track different numbers day to day, like marketing is watching website traffic and sales is focused on revenue, they share metrics. Things like the lead to customer rate or the customer lifetime value, those tell the real story of how well the entire system is working together.
So, where's all of this going? Let me tell you. The future isn't about marketing or sales. It's about marketing and sales. The businesses that are going to win are the ones that achieve total integration between these two engines and are constantly innovating how they work together. Look, getting this alignment right isn't magic. It really comes down to these practical, super important steps. It means having shared goals, talking to each other constantly, and agreeing on exactly what makes a good lead. And of course, it's all powered by those integrated tech systems we just mentioned, like a CRM.
And, the tech that's making all this happen is just getting smarter and smarter. Things like AI and automation are helping both teams work way more efficiently. And personalization at scale means we can create a really human touch even when we're dealing with thousands of customers. The future is definitely both high-tech and high-touch.
But with all this talk about funnels, metrics, and technology, we can't forget the most important fuel source of all: trust. Seriously. At the end of the day, none of this works long-term without it. Ethical practices, simple things like honesty and transparency, that's what builds the customer relationships that will power both of your engines for years to come.
So I'll leave you with this one last thought. Think about your own company, your own business. Are your sales and marketing engines working in perfect harmony? A synchronized system just humming along and driving you forward? Or do you sometimes feel them pulling in different directions, just wasting energy and slowing you down? Because getting that alignment right, that is the fundamental key to growth.